This week's episode is sustainable period products.
They can't see me like Houdini, move discreetly. I go. They can't see me like Houdini, Lamborghini. It go. They can't see me like Houdini, move discreetly. Let's go. They can't see me like Houdini, Lamborghini. It go.
Welcome to Misbehaving Women, where we unapologetically dive into the issues that matter most to women, from wellness to feminism and everything in between. No sugarcoating, no filter.
We're here to spark conversations about the real life challenges we face, the topics that often get swept under the rug, and the ones men need to hear about if they want to truly support the women in their lives.
I'm Kelli Taylor, a best-selling author, award-winning acupuncturist, and hormone coach for women's health. I'm passionate about helping women live their best and healthiest lives.
I'm Rebecca McMillan, founder of Worthfulness.com, an online self-guided program that teaches teen girls and young women real tools and concepts they use to support unshakable self-worth for life. Together, we're here to shake things up and have some...
I make some real. Sorry. Okay, so
do that again.
Okay, so 3, 2, 1.
Together, we're here to shake things up and have some real, no BS conversations. Tell me about your week.
We literally have no shortage of laughing on this podcast.
And we always do a podcast before the podcast. There's always at least an hour of talking.
And then we're like, we should have recorded that. All right, so I wanted to share with you that I have figured out, after 20-something years, I have figured out the cause of my bloat.
Whoa.
I know.
You've been bloated
It's
for
big.
20 years?
Only on the days that I work. So it starts out, I'm okay in the morning.
Yeah.
And by the end of the day, I am so bloated. And I have for 20 years, which is going to sound ridiculous when I tell you what the cause of it is, because you're going to be like, how could you not have known this? But anyways, I would start at the day okay, and then by the end of the day, I would be so bloated, and I have tried to figure out what is causing my bloating, because I have dissected what I eat, what I drink, everything, how I probiotics, what supplements I'm taking, everything to figure out why have I had bloating for this long. And it turns out it's my chewing gum.
Whoa.
Right? So do not ask me how I figured this out. But
Whoa.
somehow I one day started realizing, I wonder if it's the gum. And I don't know what made me think that. And then, of course, I did nothing about it. And then I decided I should Google that.
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Because I love pure gum.
Yeah.
It is so good. I know
Yeah.
people make fun of that. And I say that only because my family's just like, how can you chew that? You only get like 2 or 3, good chews in, and then the flavor's gone. I don't know. I get
I
more
love
chews than
gum.
that. I love it. And now they have the jumbo. Have you had the jumbo ones? They're so good. They have banana and watermelon and grape and the old school bubble gum.
Ooh.
I cannot get enough.
Hubba?
Oh, it's so good.
Wow.
So I love to chew gum.
Yeah.
And I knew for a really long time that it was bad for my jaw, because as
Yeah.
I've discussed
Yeah.
before, I've got jaw issues.
Yeah.
Everyone says, don't chew gum. And I'm like, but I love chewing gum.
I know.
Anyway, so I Googled it, and this is what came up. When you chew gum, you swallow excess air, which can lead to stomach aches and bloating. There you go.
Whoa.
So when you chew gum, you tell your body you're ready to eat. So now the body releases acids and enzymes that can help digest food. But without the presence of food, this can cause bloating and high stomach acid, which I also have.
Whoa.
So I'm like, I have been doing myself the biggest disservice from chewing gum. I know.
Wow, Kelly.
So I started doing experiments. The days I don't chew gum, I have no bloating.
Whoa.
None. like my stomach is completely the same in the morning as it is at night.
This has been 20 years?
I know. I'm thinking 20 years because I don't know. Since I've had the wellness center, I don't know.
Wow.
I always have gotten, like, I've always got it in my purse or in my backpack,
Same.
or I have it in my coat pockets.
Yeah.
Because and when they came out with pure gum,
I know.
I would say definitely whatever year it came out, that changed my life because I wouldn't ever chew gum that had aspartame in it.
Yeah, same.
So
Yeah.
to have a natural gum that actually tasted really good. And now I'm like, can I give that up? Oh my gosh.
Yes, to not bloat.
Yeah, I don't know. Yes, I can because I've gone days without it.
Yeah.
But in case anyone else,
This is a desperate plea.
if anyone else is dealing with bloat and you chew gum, that may be your cause.
Oh, I thought you were going to say if anyone knows something else I can chew that doesn't cause
no. Okay, and that too. And that too, definitely. Yeah, is that not crazy?
That's wonderful to find out, though.
I know. I'm like so happy in one way and so sad in another. Because
I agree.
I don't know what it is. And I think too, maybe now that we're having this conversation, I haven't thought this out too much, but I think it also has some nostalgia in it for me because chewing gum was a thing that, you had, okay, this is how old I am. You'd have a nickel and you go and you get a piece of chewing gum.
Yeah, with a little comic in it.
Yes, yes. And you rode your bike all the way there and you go in and you give the guy your nickel and he would give you your gum and oh my gosh. So I don't know. Gum has always been
something. It's comforting to you, maybe.
Yeah, maybe that is what it is.
That could be your safety blanket.
We did talk about doing an episode. And when you said that, we'll do an episode on that. And I'm like, oh my God, like, no, because I don't have one, but maybe I do. Maybe we've uncovered something now.
Wow.
Here we go.
Well, I'm so happy for you. What a discovery.
I know.
And wonderful to find. I mean, although that's hard, it's easy fix.
Yeah.
Mentally it's hard, but
yeah, definitely. I was going to say too, the other thing that I do know years ago that I gave up but this wasn't on work days. This actually was never on work days, but like on weekends, if we went out, get a great big bottle of sparkly water. Yeah. And that definitely, I cannot do that in food. That used to cause so much bloating. Same. So and every once in a while I'll have like some sparkly water, which I really enjoy, but not with food and not a lot of it like I used to drink it.
You know who taught me? So I feel like I always mention Dax on here. Obviously, I'm an armchair person who listens to all the episodes.
Nothing wrong with that.
But he is the one who pointed out to me that can cause, like, people poo their pants.
What?
And it's from...
Are you serious?
He openly talks about how many times he's pooed his pants in his life. And it used to be, like, at least once a year. And then it started...
Okay, my mind is blown. I'm sorry, but if that happened, I'm not admitting that on any podcast ever.
He felt very comfortable. He's like, of course, all grown men, it happens. Like, he was really comfortable with it. And then he said once he became wealthy, they moved into a new house or something, and he always dreamed as a kid of having a second fridge. That was the height of wealth to him when he was a kid. So in his garage, he got another fridge, but he doesn't drink, so he filled it with pop.
Okay.
And Perrier. And, like, there was all these options. He was drinking tons of Perrier, throwing them back. And then he was at Home Depot, pooed his pants. It happened again 2 weeks later. It happened again. And then his buddy was over. And he's like, hey, man, you want a Perrier? And the guy goes, oh, I can't have those. Those make me, poo my pants. And Derek's just like, same as you, mind blown. It was like the Matrix, everything in his head. Oh, my God, that's what's happening. So the gas in, especially the bottled water, it makes it so people, Is this TMI for people? This is probably a public service announcement because that changed my life too. I had never pooed my pants. Well, I mean, as a child, but as an adult. But there were times that I too was like, I gotta pull over to Home Depot because I used to love Perrier. Love it.
I had no idea, first of all, grown men shit their pants. Like, that is like all mind-blowing.
He's always trying to get guys to admit it.
I cannot, that's mind-blowing in itself. And again, to have sparkly water be the cause. Holy
Yeah.
crap. No pun
So I don't
intended
drink
or
it
pun
anymore.
intended, I don't know.
I know. And I love it. But yeah, I can't have it anymore. Now I know.
Wow.
Mhm.
I
These are a lot of PSAs we're doing here today. We didn't
are.
know.
I will say that has never happened to me, and I have drank quite a bit of
Oh, really?
sparkly water. No, that
Oh.
has never happened to me.
Okay.
It has not even close that I
Oh.
can, no.
Okay.
So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe mine just came in the front. It was just so bloated that I don't know. Like
I
it
think
wasn't coming out the back end, but
I have
the
a similar-
front was so bloated.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you have all that gas is going in your body.
Yeah.
There's got to be a bloat. But I think I have a similar body makeup to him. Like all of his things, I have too. So I'm like
Okay.
in an ancestry DNA that we're probably like 100th cousins or something. And so maybe that there's some sort of like some people are genetically more disposed to be affected by.
Yeah.
Because obviously his body was too.
So fascinating.
I don't know if it is. Everyone's turned this off. They're
This
like
is
they're talking
not
about
what
shitting
most
your
people-
pants.
Not what anyone thought we were going to talk about today.
I
We
didn't
didn't
know
even know.
was not on my bingo card for tonight.
Yeah.
Wow. But I do think that we helped someone today, Kelly.
I hope so.
Maybe more people than the anxiety episode. I'll hear from all these people. I didn't know. I drink Perrier. No one knows I shit my pants.
Okay. And we do love Perrier. We don't want Perrier coming after us.
You're right.
We love Perrier.
Well, and I think it's anything that puts gas in it that you drink, right? You're forewarned. Hopefully you're like Kelly and it doesn't affect you.
Yeah, no, I've never had, not even close to that, but definitely like painful bloat for sure.
It's not worth it.
Yeah. Oh, my in-laws are in town, so I have been back and forth from the Sunshine Coast to Vancouver, so that's been a lot of back and forth, but good. Lots of laughing. Oh my gosh.
Nice.
Yeah, we just have so much fun together.
Aw.
So my mother-in-law and brother-in-law are in town,
Oh,
and
good. They're both here.
it's been a lot of fun. So yeah,
That's awesome.
So-
When are they leaving?
they leave Halloween. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's a good visit.
Yeah, they fly back on Halloween, and yeah.
It'd be kind of interesting. I've never traveled on Halloween. Do people dress up at the airport and on
Ooh, that'd
planes?
I don't know. Yeah.
Please report back. I'm curious.
Well, I will find out. Yeah. And we're doing our house up again, so that our house on the, or I was going to say our house on the coast. No, sorry, our house in the city. The block that this house is in is a really, really big block for Halloween.
Yeah, to say
and
the least.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Halloween and Christmas. Everyone loves to do up their houses. And I have friends who for the last, I want to say at least 8 years, have been coming here and they do up the house like it's a haunted house, right down to having like the smoke machines where the smoke
Yeah.
machine's coming from like the front of the house and then it goes all the way down the sidewalks and
It looks amazing.
It
I've seen
looks
photos. Yeah.
amazing. And it's
Like professional quality. Yeah.
well, they are professionals.
Okay, well,
so
that's
they
what I
own. They own a DJ company, but
Okay.
they come and they do that for here. And last year, I think the first year that they did it, we had about 200 trick or treaters, and it blew my mind that 200 kids showed up here. Like I was like, holy crap, that's so many kids. Over the years, we've gotten up to 1,000 kids.
Wow.
So last year we
This is a
gave,
destination. People will
Yes.
drive here. Yeah.
like 1,000 pieces of candy we gave away last year. Yeah. And
Didn't you say Clint had to keep going back to the store?
we did. I did.
Oh, you did,
I
okay.
had to go back to the store and almost like wanting to like fight people because there was so little candy and you just saw people walking. So my friend and I, she's just like, I think they're going for the candy. We're like, okay, can we like go in a different aisle to get there faster? And we're all scouring because
What?
we've got our neighbors coming over. Do you have any more candy? And
Oh.
we're like, no. So we had to run out and get more for ourselves. So maybe
Give me
we
the
gave,
candy.
We might have even given away more than 1,000 because
Yeah.
no, I think last year we bought 800 and then I had to go get more and I think we gave it 1,000. I only bought 1,000 this year. Now I am thinking about or talking about this and thinking about it. I'm probably gonna need to go get a little bit.
Because every year it gets
Every
bigger.
year it gets bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the house, same side as us, but next block, they won some type of, I don't know if they won an award, but they were in the paper.
Oh,
for
that's
having the best front
exciting.
yard. So yeah. So there's
Just pulling up, it's cool. Like the one across the street has all the animatronics.
Yes.
So walking by, they all go.
I know. I know. And then my favorite is the dogs. You see people walk by their dogs and then their dogs are either like viciously barking at it or they're just tear off.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Scary animals. Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Finn
cool.
just wants to go and pee on all of
Oh,
them.
good.
I'm
Good for
always
him.
like, okay, we're not doing that now. And he's always looking at me. I'm like, come on, keep going, keep going.
This reminds me, when I was little, our street was kind of like off a main street and it was very dark. There wasn't street lights. So we got no trick or maybe we'd get 10, 20. And then at some point across the street, a stuntman, like he's a professional stuntman, moved in, knocked down that house, built an incredible house. And he was very into Halloween and would do stunts. So, like, jump out of the tree. Like, you walked up to the door, and the kids are walking up, and he would jump out of a
Oh my
giant tree and be hanging from a rope and be like, ah, like, really scary. And so people loved it. Or once he, like, had a hole in his porch, and he'd jump up through the hole. Really amazing. So that made it an attraction. So my parents, like, had that thing where they never, it was like, you know, you get a bag of candy,
Yeah.
and then suddenly they had 500. I was living overseas, and they're like, oh my God, we have hundreds of kids now. I'm like, what? So one person can turn that around in
Can
a
turn
neighborhood,
that around,
and you
yeah.
too can become a Halloween
I
destination.
know. Yeah, and it's fun because you see, like, it's almost like if you open the front door, it's almost like paparazzi because you just got everybody with their cameras and their
Yeah.
video
And lineups,
and
right?
videos going just so that they can, capture it all.
Yeah.
And he's also got the stereo going, so it is just pumping out either creepy music or
Yeah.
Halloween music.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool and fun.
And the creepy music, like, it will sometimes make the kids, like, they just don't want to stop because it's too scary. So
Aw.
it's
I know, I'm
pretty
like, I
cute.
can't bring Evie. It'll
No.
scare her.
Yeah, it would be terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but it's tons of fun. It's good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I love handing out candy at Halloween. Like, to me, that is one of my favorite things to do. Like, you
Do
know,
you dress up?
I mean, I haven't done it in years now.
Is that
but
your jam, though? Do you like dressing up?
I do like dressing, yeah.
Okay.
I'm you know how people are joiners? Like,
Yes.
I'm a joiner at a thing. Like, if there's an activity or an event or a theme, I want to be in on that. If there's a costume party, I want to have the costume.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Where most of my friends are not, and they're like, oh, what is she going to make us do? Oh,
Yeah,
God.
I'm the not.
Yeah, I
But
know.
this year I got Finn a costume.
Oh, what?
I know. So I'm just going to throw this out to any company that does Halloween costumes. Big dogs like to also have costumes, only for Halloween. I do not believe in clothes for big dogs. I'm
Right.
very anti that.
Okay.
But for Halloween, I could not find anything that fit him. So I kept saying, maybe this'll fit. And then finally I'm like, we need to measure him. So we measured him and I'm like, oh my God. Like some of the things, I'm like, he's not even an extra large. Like one of the costumes, he was like a 5 times extra large, which he's not really that big, but that's how their
Yeah.
costumes went.
Yeah.
Most of them, he was an extra large. But I'm like, he has a big neck and he's got a really big
Yeah.
chest.
Oh, he's a
So-
big boy.
Yeah. So
I mean, as all burners are. It's not just him.
I wanted the Superman with the cape. They didn't have anything in his size. And actually the number
you do a
one
cape?
No, he couldn't do the cape. No, he wouldn't. No, his paw wouldn't have fit in that
Oh,
thing. It was
okay.
so I'm like, no, there's no way.
Okay.
He would or together. No, it wouldn't have worked.
Shoot.
And then the other one, I really was going to say I really wanted the Superman one, which I did, but the one my number one picked was the spider legs. So it kind of has something to go around his chest to hold the spiders legs coming out the
Yeah,
top of
I
him.
know what you mean.
Oh, I wanted that
That's
so badly.
adorable.
I think that would have been amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that
Won't
wasn't
fit.
even close.
So what?
So I ended up getting him, which I don't know. Is it cool? Is it not cool? It was the only thing that fit him, like out of everything. Oh, and I really wanted to do, because I thought, because he's black, I wanted to do a bumblebee. I
Oh,
thought that would be
yeah,
really
that would be
cool.
adorable.
I know, with the
Oh my
little
God.
bumble. No, nothing fit him.
Aw.
So he's got bat wings. I think that's what they are. Oh, they're supposed to arrive today. You still haven't arrived.
Oh, okay.
It said today. I hope today. If not, then they better come tomorrow.
Yeah.
But they're supposed to be these great big bat wings that come out the sides of him. So
That you just like strap around his belly?
I'm assuming so,
Okay.
yes. It was literally the only thing. I saw the chest measurements and I'm like, it
That
may
could
be
be
a little
cute.
tight, but he'll be okay. He'll be okay. So we'll take some pictures. We'll put them on the Instagram so you guys can see his Halloween costume. But, so
Aw.
fingers crossed it arrives.
I know. Oh, it will. Amazon?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it'll get here.
Yeah.
Wow, amazing.
So that's been my week.
Well, we had a crazy attempted break-in at our place.
What?
Yeah. It was in the middle of the day,
The
and
daytime, not even the middle of the night?
no. And I know this is when did this happen? Last week. So Paul was asleep on the couch. I think he'd been up all night with Evie or something. Evie was playing, and so I happened to be walking down our hall, and I hear someone like push against our door, and it was, sometimes you think, is that the neighbor's door? But it was definitely our door. I'm like, oh, someone banged into it going to the stairs, and then a key goes into the thing, and they start doing it, and I didn't know for sure, but I thought they were doing this with the handle, like shaking the handle. And I thought, I'm like, oh, the door opened, and I was like, oh, it's Paul. Like, I was so out of
Yeah,
it
of
happened
course.
so fast. And then my mind goes, no, Paul is here. So then I start running to the door, and then the person ran down the stairwell. And I'm like, they could have heard me running in the hallway down, and they ran down the stairs. And when I went out, I couldn't see them. So I am so paranoid now. And I wake up Paul later, but I let him sleep, and he's like, why did you let me sleep? I'm like, I felt like your sleep was more important. And he's like, no, I should have chased the person.
Goodness.
So then he was dealing with the property manager.
So is there any chance that they just had the wrong? Well, I guess not, because they ran. So no.
Yeah. So then I am like, so he texts the person, and they're like, oh, next time I'm in your building, I'll look at the security cameras. And we have one right beneath our door, which I love. And
So that's not a very smart robber then.
I know. It was the weekend. So then we had to wait 2 days. So I made basically Home Alone style burglary thing down the entire hallway. I would all these noise makers, basically, things in front of the door, because I was just so scared. I'm like, they had a key, and I think it opened our door. I was thinking it was someone that used to live in our apartment, had the key. So that was 2 nights. So finally the guy came on the Monday. He looked at it, and he goes, oh, it was just an Amazon person, whatever. And I'm like, nope. And then Paul told, I had rocked Evie to sleep. I'm like, no, that was not Amazon. This person put their key in, whatever. And Paul's like, oh God. So he has to go back to the guy. He calls him. He's like, do you want to look at the footage with me? Paul says, he was looking at me. I'm like, yes. I can't relax at night.
Yeah, of course.
So he goes in, they look through the stuff, and he sees the Amazon person come out, look confused. Or Uber, I think it was an Uber person. They're walking up and down the hall, they're confused. But they go back in the elevator, and Paul's like, no, let's go a little bit further back before. And he sees our neighbor from upstairs come through. So you're right. So it's her. So she comes through. I guess she's not thinking. So she pushes on I guess she really I don't know. Maybe she was angry. Pushes on the door, puts her key in. She's doing this. She's not giving up that this is not her apartment. And that's why it was so noisy. And she was it was someone aggressive. And then I guess she realized, panicked. I've already had incidents with them.
Oh, no.
And they're thinking, I don't want to deal with that crazy lady. And she ran into the stairwell.
Oh my God.
So I actually cannot wait for the next time I see her. Paul and I always say, we feel like Julie and Louis Dreyfus in the Griswold Family Christmas, those neighbors.
Yeah.
That they are like the Griswolds to us, and we are the Julie and Louis Dreyfus. Where this stuff keeps happening to us because of what they're doing. We're like, what are you doing? Anyways, yeah. So thank God Paul went and looked, because he goes, nope, there she is. It's her. Oh, I know exactly who did this. But I was really terrified for 48
Yeah, of
hours. I
course.
couldn't sleep.
The funny thing is, well, I guess I could have thought it was a neighbor, but I just didn't. I'm like, no, I think I heard them open the door. Like, I didn't know. And because they ran away, if she had just gone back to the elevator, I would have known it was her.
Yeah.
But she is probably a bit scared of me because we've had run-ins.
Okay.
Anyways, yeah, so that was my wild building. Like, you should have seen the contraptions I built as noisemakers, like down the hallway from the door. So I would just, after I'd set it up, I'd say to Paul, don't go down the hall. And it's funny because we never want to wake Effie.
Pictures.
I wish I had, because now it's hysterical to think that I did that. But, you're so quiet not wanting to wake her. And then last night, a book fell off our, vitamin rack, and every one of our, 20 vitamin things, one by one, falls off the counter. Bang, bang, bang. And we both just freeze. And you, look at the camera. She doesn't even move. That's what's so funny, We're, panicked about, the tiniest thing. I'm like, shh. And then, crazy loud sounds. No, she's not phased. But it depends. Sometimes she would be. Just, you luck out. Anyways, that's the highlight of my week.
Yeah.
Other than, it's Halloween. Happy Halloween, everybody. Hope you have fun tonight. Whether you hand out candy or dress up, or I think everyone went to their parties last weekend.
Yeah, and stay safe,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, just make sure you watch for cars, because a lot of people have stuff on their faces and their heads. So sometimes the vision's a little bit less.
Definitely.
So they can't see everything, so just be careful.
Yep. Okay, so coming up, what do we call this? Natural? Organic? I can't remember what we call these.
Sustainable.
Sustainable.
I think we use the word sustainable period products, and then you're going to be your kind of own decision maker whether or not you decide something is going to work for you or not, or how sustainable it really is. So
right, you're giving all these teases.
Yeah,
it ended up being very mixed on what to use and what to do and what is the right thing.
we weren't always really clear on everything.
I'm still not clear. I don't know the answer.
And I will say one of them is a little bit of a disappointment for me. So hey,
But the more you know, we all need this information as well.
And that's why I say you can pick whatever you want. Just be well informed that this is what you've chosen.
Oh my God.
Go with it.
That sounds like a threat.
Oh gosh, no. That's how that was for me. Is that it was like, okay, this is the way it really is. It's not what I thought it was.
Yeah.
But I'm like, well, I'm informed. I
chose this.
know the truth, and I'm still going with it regardless.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Running with it.
It's all coming up.
They can't see me like Houdini, move discreetly. I go.
The benefits of mudwater rest are relaxing, winding down, sleep quality, and immunity support. And of course, zero caffeine. What better way to end your evening while supporting your immunity and sleep? The Mudwater Starter Kit includes a free USB rechargeable frother as well, which is valued at $20 when you use our code. And I am now obsessed with frothing, and it holds a charge. It's over a month now. It's still holding a charge. If you're in the US, it also comes with free shipping. Mudwater.com, mudwtr.com/wellness brings you to our Misbehaving Woman extra discount options.
Welcome to our should we or should we not purchase sustainable menstrual products? That's going to be the question, and you're going to be able to decide for yourself after this podcast.
Yes, so much to discuss.
There's so much to discuss. I want to start out right away with some facts because I've never really put it in these terms, but the majority of women will spend in and around 39 years of their lives at the period.
Oh my God.
Never really thought about that. And that means we'll use between 10 to 15,000 disposable menstrual products in our lifetime. That's mind-blowing. And that on any given day, more than 300 million women worldwide are menstruating at the same time.
Whoa. That's a lot of energy.
And I like this one. Although nearly half the world is menstruating, women, I can speak for myself anyways, we don't ever talk about the waste and the environmental impact and the health of women using a lot of the products available on market right now.
Mm-hmm. So true.
And I'm thinking, I don't know if I've ever had a conversation about the waste of throwing out disposable pads.
Yeah,
And
tampons.
definitely not about the impact that it has on our environment. I have talked about the health of women in the products that they use.
Yeah.
But today I think you're going to find out some, I don't know, I thought were sometimes a little bit shocking. I did find out something new that I didn't know and something new that I'm trying. And now realize that, oh, shoot, it may not actually be the best for us. So we'll get into that in a little bit.
Well, in my ongoing saga of what are women doing in bathroom stalls, I found out that this is from Plastic Oceans. They said 2 million tampons are flushed down the toilet every day in the UK. And whenever I see those signs, please don't flush your sanitary, like on the back of every door in bathrooms.
So disrespectful.
I always think, no, but I'm like, why do they have a sign? No one does that.
I think that's so disrespectful to do that. Every bathroom has that sign.
It blew my mind. Like, I need, please tell me, are you someone that does that? Because clearly you know it's going to clog a toilet.
Yes.
2 million a day. That's just in the UK.
Well, they have the little box for them.
Yeah. So I don't know
There's a
why.
box for them.
What is I'm fascinated. I hope someone will admit to doing it because I don't know. I was shocked. So I just think when that bathroom stall door closes, it's just chaos for women. We're peeing on seats. We're putting tampons down the toilet. Yeah, blew my
I'm
mind.
going to say that there's probably some women that flush the pads too.
No, because it wouldn't go down. A pad? You would just know that that's just going to sit in that toilet and you've clogged it.
Some women have done it.
And the poor person that has to come and unclog that toilet.
I bet you. I put money on it that there's women that do that.
Oh my God. I have cleaned hotel rooms, and let me tell you.
You've cleaned hotel rooms?
Yes.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I was the maid.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've got some stories for you on that later.
Was there pee on the seat?
Great question. It's fascinating how people leave rooms differently. And then I would do the turn down service at a very high-end hotel in the evenings. And the things you see people doing in their rooms, that's a story for another day. Lots of...
I am going to chime in and say, though, that my mother was adamant that we left the hotel room clean.
Love her.
Yeah, it was a mandatory thing. It
Love
drove
that.
my dad nuts. He would always be like, there's maids to do that.
Yeah.
But my mom made sure we had to put all of our towels into the bathtub. And yeah,
what a woman.
and all the sheets had to be pulled up. And he would be like, you're doing the maid's job.
So why did she know, or not know? I get if you don't want to do it, but what made her
I
think
have
that
no
way?
idea. It's just she always did it, and she taught us that's what we're supposed to do. And to this day, I still do
Yeah,
that.
like I made a vow as my younger self. I was said, whenever I stay in a hotel and I'm older, I will always, and I put all the towels in the bathroom on the floor. And yeah, like just that stuff, like the garbage in the bin. I just don't leave rooms a disaster because I know the feeling when you open that door and it's like, what's it going to be? And rooms are chaotic and it's going to take you 2 hours, or a room that's okay. And, it doesn't take you long. Wow, good for her. I'm very impressed. And Paul's always like, why are you doing the towels and sheets? I don't know. Anyways, I mean, obviously, we thought perimenopause was relatable, but every woman has a story, right? About menstruating, and it's something that happened that one time with one period. I don't know if there's anything more that bonds. One of the top things that bonds women, I think, is if you get women talking about their periods.
Yeah,
and
their cycles.
yeah. And there's when we were doing this, I knew about the period underwear because I've tried that, and the cups, I tried that. A couple, I didn't know about the washable pads and stuff. But I think that maybe a lot of women my age and older don't know about all of these. Maybe they wouldn't think to try them. Because I remember at an office I worked at once, all of the younger girls were using the cup. And they thought I was archaic that I used pads. They were floored that I used pads. They could not believe it. And they were like, of course we use, I think it was the Divi cup at the time. This is a long time ago. So I don't know if it's maybe also generational, what products people use.
Absolutely. And this is definitely going to,
Age?
age me?
Yeah.
It's going to age me. When I started my period, you had the pads, which were these monster pads.
Oh, yeah.
and you had to wear a belt.
You had the belt?
Had the belt, yeah. So they had, I want to say it was through our school.
What?
I could be wrong, but I think it was through our school that package that you could get, and inside it had everything. So it had every size pad, and it had tampons, so that it was like a beginner, like a teen kind of package, so that it was for your first period. And I remember opening it up and being shocked at how big the pads were. Like, I was afraid what was going to come out of me based on the size of these pads. I was like, what is going on? And it had this white belt that you had to, because there was no adhesive.
Yeah.
And so that was the only thing that kept
I can't believe you had the
Yeah, it
period
wasn't
belt.
until, I want to say, maybe mid-teens when the adhesive first came out, and then when
Whoa.
the wings came out.
No way.
High five, hallelujah. And because then it didn't leak,
Yeah,
right? So that
yeah.
was so nice.
Yeah.
And then the first time I ever heard about the reusable menstrual pads,
Yeah.
I was at a SVI conference, and there was two women there, so Madeline Shaw and Suzanne Siemens, and they owned Lunapads.
Oh.
And my mind was blown. I
Yeah.
was like, what is a reusable pad? I was super curious.
Yeah.
And I ended up getting some from them.
Oh.
And I learned so much from them. So I had to go back and kind of do a little bit of digging again, because I couldn't remember specifics. But
Yeah.
I know that Madeline was the founder of Lunapads.
Okay.
She started back in 1993, and then somewhere down the road, I think around 1999, I was looking at the website. So Suzanne came into the picture with the two of them kind of grew the company. They have sold it since, and now it's called Isle. And holy crap, like, they were cutting edge, even
Right.
though the reusable pads, how awesome is this? So reusable pads have been used for ages, and that women used to take cloth and make little
Rags, yeah.
strips from old rags.
Yeah.
And that's where the saying came, I'm on the rag. I
Yeah.
didn't know that. So
Okay.
that was kind of cool. And it was, I believe, the 1970s is when they started to kind of bring in the reusable pads, but they didn't really take off. And it wasn't until the 1990s that they actually made them more commercial.
Oh.
And I think it was Kotex, if I'm not mistaken, that kind of brought them out.
Okay.
But they never really took off, and yeah. So now I think Madeline and Suzanne were kind of cutting edge back in the
Right.
day,
Game changers for that.
and brought them out.
Because
But
there's a lot of brands now.
not only did they bring out the reusable pads, but they brought out the reusable underwear. So I think that was very cutting edge back then.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I learned a lot, and the fact that around 500 million women around the world have lack of access to menstrual products
Yeah.
is what I learned from them. And then
Okay.
they started a project to be able to get young girls in Africa. And then it talks about, because I didn't know, these girls don't go to school. They miss
Yeah.
school because of their cycles. So they would send, I'm not sure, I can't remember how it works, and I'm assuming that Isla has still taken on that, but I know if you buy products, then they send reusable pads to
Oh, good.
other countries. So
Amazing.
that's really nice.
That's much better to send reusable to places where poverty is an issue.
Yeah, in my notes it was Kotex, I was
Okay.
right. I was the first to come up with the disposable pads.
I saw in Canada at the end of last year, all federally regulated workplaces have to have period products available for free now.
Yeah.
And but that's only December 15th, 2023 in
Yeah.
Canada.
Isn't that crazy?
But it said Scotland, New Zealand, and Kenya have the same. So that's pretty
Scotland
amazing.
was the first to do it.
Really?
Yeah, Scotland was
Go
the first
Scotland!
to be able to do that.
Wow. I mean, when you think, like, women used to just either bleed out in their clothes
Yeah.
or put freaking rags up there to
Yeah.
soak it up and had to just go about life. We've come so far.
Oh, for sure. And then when we talk about, it's shocking how much money we spend on
Right.
these products
In a lifetime,
in a lifetime.
which we don't have to with the products we'll bring up today, right?
Yeah, so it says in 40 years, on average, a woman will spend $13. Now, it depends on what country you're from. So Canada and the States were pretty similar. So
Yeah.
$13.25 a month, which averages about 6,000 total on menstrual products
In a
in
lifetime?
a lifetime.
Interesting.
I think yeah, 13.25, because I think the type of pads that I buy are very expensive. I don't know. I don't buy I buy the natural ones.
Yeah, me
So I
too.
try and make sure that there's no
Nothing in
bleach,
it,
no
yeah.
dyes, nothing in it. And I'm always shocked every month how expensive that is.
Yeah, they are. But you don't, yeah, it depends if you go through the whole thing in a month.
And then the period underwear is the thing that I'm new to and started wearing those. And I was thinking that I was like, this is so amazing. And I was really excited until I started doing research. And now I'm not 100% sure. And I don't know, maybe you know this, but I did not know about PFASs.
I did know.
No idea about them.
Yeah.
And went down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And thank you to the Teflon family for introducing those. Holy crap.
I know.
Yeah.
I got into it maybe I don't remember how many years ago. I think I got an awesome bodysuit that I was influenced to get from NYX that had the period thing in it. And I was like, this is incredible. But I was always nervous in it. And I didn't know at the time that you can buy different absorbency levels within those. So I think I was probably wearing a light absorbency one. And I was like, this doesn't work. So yeah, within the period underwear, you can get all the different absorbencies level. Note, because I learned the hard way. And some of them say you can hold 2 tampons worth of blood if you get a really high absorbency.
Yeah.
But then I know my mom said it to me. I don't know who else said, oh, what's in those things? I think they're toxic. I saw a thing. And you probably, was it the Thinks? When the class action lawsuit against Thinks?
No, I didn't see that.
Oh, so in the U.S., a $5 million class action lawsuit went after them because they had harmful chemicals were found in their period underwear. And so they settled for $5 million. I don't know if they kept going or that was horrible PR. And that's when it first started to spread. Hey, that period underwear, you got to be careful. So now some of the companies have PFAs in the period underwear and some don't.
Well, okay, so this is what I thought was interesting. So down my little rabbit hole,
Yeah.
I'm looking, and there's definitely companies that are saying that they don't have the PFA, or what is it?
PFAs. Yeah.
So there's the aisle, and then the RevoCares, the Salt, the NatraCare, the Honey Pot, the Organic, Yanni, Joni, all of them are saying that they've got the natural products and that they don't use PFAs. Now, NYX came out with a thing because
That's the only company I know. You're saying all these companies. I'm like, I only know NYX.
Well, I did the rabbit hole down NYX because I wanted to see, please let NYX be free of these. And NYX said something that I thought was very interesting. So it says we do not add
I know.
PFAs.
Yeah.
So what they're saying actually made some sense to me. And they're saying that it's so widely dispersed in the environment that even the water we drink has low levels of contamination. And so basically they're saying, I'm going to sum it all up. From their point of view, it's almost impossible based on how it's everywhere. It's in our blood. I read that 99% of Americans, it's in our blood. We have it even in our blood. It's in our water. It's everywhere. So they're saying it's virtually impossible to put out a product without that. So now you've got all these products that are saying they don't have it. So unless they're being tested and they've got some secret to not having it, which I'm not saying they don't, I'm just saying that from Nick's point of view, it's almost impossible. And it makes sense based on the fact that if we've got it in our blood, how are they going to not have it in the products? It's in everywhere. If it's in our water, and if you're washing these products in it, somehow everything is going to be contaminated.
Yeah.
That's basically what I took from them. So I'm curious how these other companies are saying they don't have it. And
also just to note, some do. Some don't say they don't have it because they do.
Yeah.
So all period underwear is not
the same,
Yeah.
and you do have to do your research. Just to be super clear on NICS, I just want to say their statement. So we do not intentionally use PFAs in the manufacturing of our leak-proof products. However, they're so widely dispersed now in the environment. Even the water we drink has low levels, so unfortunately, it can't be avoided. So it's kind of saying it is.
They're just saying like it's probably impossible not to have it.
Right.
I love NYX, by the way. I love their products. I love their bras. I love their underwear. So, and I feel like what they're saying has a lot of truth to it. That
Exactly.
It would be really hard. And I'm not saying that these other companies don't have it.
Yeah.
I'm just curious how they're
Yeah.
managing to get products without it.
Yeah. So I had NYX products. I found out about this, the Thinks, which I think poor NYX, because they probably get confused with Thinks who had the class action lawsuit, right, in the States. And because the name is just too similar, you would think it was them. And then I thought, oh, but do they? And they have this statement, and that's great. There's a part of me that was scared, though, so I stopped wearing those things because I think, oh, what if it does have that in there? Because it's kind of saying like it does, but it's probably in your blood anyways. There's nothing, so what is the right answer there? I don't know what to do. And they said they regularly test to make sure that it is just the stuff that they can't help that's in there.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, Time Magazine did an article about this, and they said that there was a series of lab analysis found, and this is a study. I don't know if it's more than one study, but from 2020 to 2022, 48% of sanitary pads, and incontinence pads and panty liners have it. 22% of tampons have it, and 65% of period underwears have it. So those are huge numbers.
Yep. Since we're on this topic. So years ago, in 2014, which is 10 years ago, somebody thought, hey, what's in these pads that women are wearing? Let's study something for women. And they took 4 types of Always, I think was like Always a big brand, right, of maxi pads. And they found the list of things like carcinogen type things at the time, which I'm sure have been changed. I don't know, though. This was a study done and it came out, and that's the truth of it. I don't know what's in Always maxi pads now. But this year, Columbia University studied tampons, and they checked for 16 metals in 30 tampons from 14 different brands in 18 product lines. So really like a widespread what's in all tampons. And one of the tampons had all 16 metals that they were testing for in it. And like all the tampons had varying degrees of metals. So they said, we don't want everyone to panic, like, because this just came out, these results, I think in April. They finished it and then it's been published slowly. They said, next, obviously, we have to study if the metals leak into a woman's system yet that are in the tampon. Are they actually leaking in, or does it matter? Now, I'm definitely not a scientist, but it seems to me that it would go in your system if it's in your vagina. Hello?
But we're talking like lead, arsenic. We're talking very toxic chemicals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're going to do that study at Columbia University next, I guess, and we'll find out for sure, which will set a panic through women, all over the world. A lot of teens, they use tampons just because it's, you can't see it. It's convenient, it's affordable, and you can't see it through what you're wearing. So just imagine that is going, or for older women, you've been putting that in your system for years and didn't know. And those things are like carcinogens. They can affect fertility. There's one of them I found was a reproductive toxicant, it's called. So really, that's where I'm like, is the natural stuff safe? Or, is the stuff that there's, because I've bought like organic tampons, but they studied an organic tampon and it had it too. So,
well, it's in if I believe I'm correct in saying that the organic tampons are supposed to be organic cotton. Mm-hmm. How can the cotton not have chemicals in this day and age? Yeah. Like everything's polluted. Yeah. So there's going to be some type of toxin, I would assume, that's in it.
Yep. So the washable pads sound good to me. To be honest, I didn't know about those until I did this research. I'm like, oh, maybe that's the thing. Because I tried the cup and it wasn't for me.
Yeah, I tried the cup. I couldn't figure out the cup. I just like
It hurt. Like
Yeah,
when I
it
did it, it
just-
hurt. And I know there's different sizes and stuff, and I probably had the wrong size. I was going through fertility treatments at the time. I told my gyno, and he's like, "Don't use that right now." But like I said, all the younger girls in an office I worked in, they all used the cup and swore by it. So I don't know. You probably have to
the
get.
cup didn't. The cup and I didn't really.
I wish I could use the cup because how handy is that?
Yes.
So I might be washing my own reusable period pads instead.
Now, I thought the cup would be one of those things that we could say 100% this is a great thing.
Yeah.
But, and we're talking about sustainability in this podcast,
Right.
but the silicone is, yes, it's reusable. So there's your pro. But the con is it's not biodegradable and it can't be recycled. So that's a little bit.
But those cups can last 10 years. So if a woman uses one cup for 10 years instead of all the pads and tampons she would have put out into the environment, isn't that better?
I don't know, because that cup is going to be around for the rest of our
Of time?
lifetimes and many other people's lifetimes, because it's not biodegradable and not recyclable. So
I don't know.
I don't. These are the questions.
Yeah.
Everybody's got to figure out what
Yeah.
works best for them. So I do have to say that everything has pros and cons to it, and the other, the pros were that if you're going to do the menstrual cup, you can wear it up from 8 to 12 hours. You can swim with them, and you're going to have them, like you said, for many years, and they're super durable because they don't break down. But the cons is there's limited size options, learning curve, which apparently I did not figure out how to use. And also I had read something else too, that you really have to clean them properly. So
Right.
and that's the same with the reusable pads.
Okay.
You really have to know how to clean them properly, like hot water and soap, because if you've got a yeast infection or anything like that, you can make that worse if you're not killing off all the bacteria and the yeast on it.
Right.
So,
Yeah. That's a lot of pressure to make sure it's perfectly sanitary.
Yes.
Especially if you're in like a public washroom and you take it out to like dump it out and then you're not able, like, are you going to go out of the stall to the sink and rinse it and then go back in and put it in? That's complicated. I don't know. Maybe people have more than one cup they use. I don't know.
I'm just thinking how gross that would be in the sink if you've now dumped it in the toilet, and now the germaphobe in me.
Well, maybe they don't. Maybe you dump it and just put it right back in. I don't know how it works. I don't know. I would want to rinse it.
I would want to rinse it too. I would not want to put that back in. And then it's all bloody. So no, that's ew.
I did see a pro. They don't dry out the vaginal wall, which helps prevent or preserve bacteria, like a tampon would dry out the vaginal.
Well, and tampons have, I don't know how many hours can you wear a tampon without getting toxic shock syndrome? Because it's not 8 to 12 hours. I know that for sure. I had a very, very, very deep fear of getting toxic shock syndrome.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think, because it had that piece of paper when you opened up the box.
Yeah, when you were young, and it just terrified you. I had one that was in there that I didn't know when I was drinking, and it was in me. Definitely, like probably 24 hours. So I didn't get toxic shock syndrome.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure not everyone I'm sure lots of women wear them longer than they're supposed to. But
Yeah. There was a smell. So I was like, wait a minute, did I have a tampon in last night? This is, 20 drinking.
My other fear was that the string would break.
And you'd have to dig up to get it.
Well, and lots of women don't have the ones without the strings, or is it without the applicators?
Without the applicator.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, those little
without the
minis.
string. Yeah.
When I lived in Europe a bit, in Eastern Europe, that was common. The kind that you just got to like shove up there, which I found very challenging.
I don't know. I found it challenging too. The learning curve on some of these.
Yeah, it's hard to get it up far enough where it doesn't hurt because they're also smaller. And so you're really having to use like a finger or thumb. I'm showing Kelly with my hand right now. She's looking like, what are you doing?
Well, my story of a tampon is I was a teenager. I was with my best friend, my sister, and her best friend. And we lived in a townhouse when we lived in Toronto, and my sister and I had the top floor to ourselves. We had our own bathroom. And I don't know who got the tampons. Somebody got the tampons, and I'd never used one. So we were taking turns going into the bathroom and putting a tampon in. And
What?
apparently, I must have been in there for longer than I should have, because they're like, "Is it in yet? What are you doing in there?" And I could not get this thing in, but I didn't know I didn't have my period. So I didn't know this wasn't going to go in because we
Oh.
were all trying to figure out how to put them in.
Oh.
And yeah, it wasn't until I got my period and tried again and realized, oh, when you have your period, it goes in very easily.
Right. Wow. I've never even conceived of trying to put it in when there's nothing.
Well, yeah, we must have been.
It would
I must have
hurt.
been, yeah, I must
That
have
would
been
hurt.
15 years old.
Yeah.
It did hurt.
Yeah.
I thought these were tortures.
Yeah. Well, the plastic or the cardboard applicators? Good God, that is a torture.
That's a
like
torture.
thick cardboard that they've cut it in the four and it's got the pointy edges and you're supposed to
Yes.
put
You're
that
supposed to put that
in
in
your
Oh
vagina.
my gosh. I'm not a plastic person, but I can't say how happy I was when they got the plastic applicators.
Totally. I know. When you're like, in an emergency and then in the public washroom, all they have are those thick cardboard ones and you're like, you know what, I'll just use my sock because I'm not putting that thing in me. Oh my God. Once is enough. That's funny. Wow, so we haven't got to a thing that we're like, this is the thing.
Yeah, no.
It's not been solved. We need a
No.
game changer.
And I'm really concerned because I was loving the period underwear. Now I'm not sure what to
But
do.
isn't so what they're saying is they do their best to not have PFAs and they test it. If the maxi pads and the tampons do have stuff, isn't the best option we have available the period underwear that doesn't have the PFAs that says they don't have it?
Yeah, I guess so. I'm honestly, I don't know. This is all so new to me. I feel kind of
Lost.
I do feel a little bit lost. I felt like finally I'd found something that was super easy. And the fact that, I'm 55, I still have my period. And I have normal periods, but I've never had heavy periods. But I would say they're probably a bit later than they used to be. So I wouldn't ever put in a tampon because they're just.
Well, I got scared of tampons a long time
Yeah.
ago, but with all these toxic things. I think when I was on my fertility journey, I tried to get super clean. So that's when I found out, and I stopped. I just started wearing pads, which was annoying. Like wearing pads is so much more
annoying.
work. The feeling, do I have to change it? Did it leak? All that stuff. It is annoying.
Well, I have the reusable pads still, and I've had those for many, many years, and they're still in perfect shape. They're really
I
good,
might
but
try that.
Don't like that they slide.
Oh, they slide?
It really sucks.
That's not going to work for me.
Yeah, so there's like a snap that
Oh.
puts them together. So they do wrap around, which is nice. So almost like
It's like
having
a wing.
wings.
Okay.
But the thing is, it snaps, so it does shift, which really sucks.
Maybe if I use my NYX underwear,
Yeah.
but I put the reusable
Oh.
pad over it to slightly block any unintentional PFAs from my vagina.
There you
That
go.
could be my thing. I might try that. By the way, note when I was researching this, have a bag that's just for your reusable pads when you're going about your day. If you're using reusable pads in your purse or your bag or whatever, because otherwise, you're thinking, okay, well, where do I put this used one now?
Yeah.
Maybe they sell it with that. I don't know. I don't have them yet, but I thought, ooh, that's a good tip.
I do not know. I don't think I got a bag with it. That's a really good.
It doesn't come with them? Okay, yeah.
No.
So, yeah.
But
would
I
buy
have
something.
I have a Ziploc.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I bring with me when I.
Yeah. I have a couple wet, pool type bags you'd put a swimsuit in. I might just use one of those and try it. I'll report back on how my experience was with the reusable. And also, so that was one thing with the reusable underwear that I do want to honor is that it's very expensive to start because you need a lot of underwear to get through a period. And usually these are around 30, 35, I don't know, Canadian, right? So
Or
you,
more.
or more. Yeah. So that's a lot to start. But once you have it, it would last a long time, and eventually I would assume that would be less than what you would have spent on tampons and maxi pads.
so.
But it's an expensive. It's like you got to start slowly because it's just every birthday and Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever. Whenever you're getting gifts, you might say, "Give me a gift card," for that for Nick's or whoever. I love Nick's, like the bodysuits. I just love. I have to tell you, when I was doing this research, there were so many period stories that I couldn't help but came across, but I'm just going to tell you one that is incredible. And the girl's name is Kelly. I don't think it's you, but tell me if it is. It was on Vice, where girls were saying, kind of their most memorable or horrifying story. They had like the top 15 they'd picked from all the submissions. When I got my first cycle, my mom told me we were going to the grocery store. Instead, she drove me 2 hours outside of town to a foggy bluff in North Georgia mountains, read me poetry about womanhood, and gave me talismans all wrapped in silk. I was honestly convinced she was going to kill me afterwards, but was more terrified that somehow someone from my school would find out what she had done. But I still wear my puberty pin whenever I feel like I need some luck.
Aww.
I know. I think that is hilarious and beautiful all at the same time. So that's the one I saved to share.
Love that.
Lovely. I mean, it would be hysterical. Your mom drives you 2 hours to the country, starts dancing around. It is such a special
that's
moment.
Such a beautiful thing to be able to celebrate.
Yeah.
Our period.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to be honest. Like, I'm 55. I still have my period. And every time I get it, I do a period dance. I'm so
You
excited.
do?
I do. Every time. I'm very excited
What?
to get it. I will welcome it for as long as it wants to come.
Wow,
So,
Kelly.
Very happy. Yeah. Every time I get it, I'm like, oh, got my period. I do a little dance. I'm super excited, happy.
Why?
Have it. Because it's this natural thing that my body can still do. And I don't have really many friends that are around my age that had their period. Pretty much everyone's been in menopause for a long time.
Yeah.
And I still got my period.
Oh, okay.
So I just think I'm just going to welcome it for
Right.
as long as it wants to come.
Right.
And I feel like it will one day stop. And
you get it every month?
I get it every month.
Wow.
Yeah. So
You are just aging backwards.
I don't know.
We got no gray hairs. We're still getting our period every month at 55.
I know. And I really do. Like, I really still celebrate this part of womanhood. And obviously when you get into menopause, it will be a different type of womanhood. So I'm still celebrating this chapter of womanhood.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why you still get it. You're grateful for it.
I'm very grateful.
Rare the woman who, when she gets her period, celebrates.
Yeah.
You might be on an island alone there. So that's a testament for gratitude.
I've never minded having my period.
But that's, I think, because, well, I've said this before. When you do acupuncture and stuff, you don't get as many side effects.
Yeah.
Like you're not, technically, you shouldn't get them from that training, right?
I think the first time I ever had cramps, I was somewhere in my late 20s was the first time.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't know. I had a best friend in public school, and I remember she used to get horrible cramps, and I honestly had no idea what she was talking about. Like, I really didn't know.
Wow.
And the only way she could get rid of her cramps would be she would go running. And for whatever reason, that really helped her with her cramps. And I remember she'd always have, like, the hot water bottle on her.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah, me too. The hot water bottle.
I didn't, I don't know, I didn't know that was a thing until she would talk about it. And I couldn't really honestly relate to it at all. And then, as more of the girls talked about their periods, which nobody really did, but anybody did, then it was really and she also unfortunately had very, very, very heavy periods. So she would, unfortunately, a couple times at school, she would leak through. But back then they didn't have the type of pads that they have now, right?
Yeah.
So, and I don't think they had anything for girls who had heavy periods. So I could not really relate to any of that.
My first period was a monster. Like, with the cramps and everything. First time. recently Paul, he went to get me pads. I ran out and he's like, I'll get them for you. And he got those pads you're talking about, like the heavy, thick. I'm like, these are for women after they've had a baby. Like he literally, that's what they look like, the kind they give you at the hospital. I couldn't believe it. He's like, I think you need these. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh, Paul.
I know.
Paul.
You definitely feel secure when you're wearing those, though. No chance of leakage. No chance of leaking. Wow. So I guess it'd be awesome if people comment what they use. Maybe you don't want to put that on social media. Send it anonymously somehow. Or what they like to use. I think the cups are popular. I think a lot of people are going to say that we're crazy and that they love the cups. And I'll report back on the washable pads, maybe combined with my Nicks.
Yeah, I also learned too, which I didn't, I guess I never really thought about it until I read this, but used menstrual products are classified as medical waste.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So they don't have to be tracked. And it says some 20 billion pads and tampons are dumped into North America landfills each year.
All of this kind of blows my mind. The fact that, okay, look at how much waste this causes and there are things being done with these sustainable products. Mm-hmm. But also look how little and how recent the research is on, oh, hey, ladies, those things are full of toxins. We're just studying this at Columbia now, this year. You know what I mean? That's wild. It's 2024.
Wild. Okay, so you said about women not flushing down the toilet.
No, they are.
It says improper disposal. So flush down toilets. So it pollutes the water, strains sewage systems, and according to a 2022 study, single-use menstrual products and packaging are the most found waste on beaches and in the ocean.
I saw that.
Is that not crazy?
Yeah.
So
we need
flushing them down the toilets.
We need more support in this sustainable period arena.
And if I was honest, thinking about it, I can see more so why somebody would throw a tampon down the toilet. I can't understand the pads. Like, that's a little bit
I don't get the I would be, honestly, I mean, I just would think if you put a tampon down there, it's just going to block and back up. I would be, even selfishly, I'd think, oh, I'm going to clog the toilet. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, for sure, a maxi pad would.
Yeah, I used to take the toilet paper and then put it on the toilet paper and then bunch it up and throw it in that little.
That's what I always do.
Basket.
Yeah, you wrap it in the toilet paper, put it in, because someone has to clean that out of that bag.
They're not, because the statistics are saying that the most found waste is. And imagine being on a beach and like a pad or a tampon comes up. I've seen lots of condoms on beaches, but
I have seen tampons on beaches. That makes sense. Yeah, I have.
I've seen the applicators. I don't know if I've ever seen an actual tampon or a pad. Wash up, applicators for sure.
Yeah.
Condoms for sure.
Well, nightmare. You're at the beach and you get your period. It's like, oh God, where are you going to put that thing?
Yes.
I want to bring up, because I love this and I watch it at least once a month. There is a comedian, Marsha Belsky. Whenever I need to laugh, I have this saved on Instagram and I play it. And she's a comedian who did this song, which I won't really sing the way she does it. And please search her and find this and watch it. Marsha Belsky, Marcia. It would come up as very popular. And she's playing the piano on stage. She says, remember when NASA sent a woman to space for only 6 days and they gave her 100 tampons? And they asked, will that be enough? Because they didn't know if that would be enough. These are our nation's greatest minds. They are literal rocket scientists. And it's just like, that's so mind-blowing. She does it so well. Her delivery is incredible. I'm just giving you please look up her doing it. It makes me laugh out loud every time I watch it. But it's because it's insane.
It is
NASA, they gave a woman 100 tampons for 6 days and said, is that enough? That really happened.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So how little men know about the management of a woman's period.
Sure, a man did that.
Yeah,
100%.
of course.
No woman is going to do that.
So
why is there a man in charge of the woman?
I guess of packing the plane or the spaceship rocket. What are they called? I don't know. That's how. Yeah, out of time. Yeah, there's no. It's funny though, because boys don't know anything about the management of your period and all the different things of what we use. And imagine if men had periods, we'd know everything about it. We'd know all the products. We'd know how it works.
because we'd be buying them.
We'd be buying them.
Yeah. So clearly, we have not solved anything in this podcast. We're not even sure about it. So.
We're left. We've given you more questions, not answers.
It definitely left me with more questions. But we would love to hear what you think. We would love to hear what your thoughts and opinions are. What do you use? What have you tried? Works, doesn't work? Leave a comment in our social media.
And yeah, we'll read some out or messages we get. We'll happily let you know what women have tried.
And we'll get back to you on what we've come up with.
Yeah.
I did not know. See, this is how much I didn't know about the PFAs is because I called it PFAS. So that's how little I knew about it because I'm calling it the PFAS, and then Becky's like, "Oh, you mean the PFAs?" And I'm like, "Yeah, okay, that, yeah." So that has really blown my mind, and now I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with all that.
Okay.
And I'm really stuck. I'm not gonna lie. I have a relationship with my Knix underwear, and I really love that they're really honest about it. And
Yeah.
I feel like they're the most realistic that it's in everything.
Yeah.
So now I just have to make that decision. But I'm still going to say that I feel like that's a better option than having, by any means, than the tampons, because I feel
Definitely
like
than
that's
the
worst
tampons.
because it's inside you.
Yeah.
And the pads, I don't know, that's a question mark. So.
Yep. To be continued.